we get started, if that's okay with you.
It's all fine with me. As we say, let's go.
Okay, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's, the 15th of April, Ecosphere Instagram Live. We're delighted to have you and very, very delighted and grateful to have our guest speaker today. Let me start with his background. Habib Achkar has been working for Morgan Stanley starting in 1989. He has been ranked top producer in sales over several years. In 1991, he becomes the head of France fixed income sales and deputy head of Europe insurance for Morgan Stanley. After working in multiple offices and departments of Morgan Stanley in France, in the UK, in Saudi Arabia and EMEA region, he held the position of vice chairman of Morgan Stanley based in London, which he recently left. He is a trust board member of MFFEAT, Maroon Seaman Faculty of Engineering and Architecture Trust, Over the Wall Charity Board, Stern Business School, New York University. He's a very active and participative alumni. He holds an MS in Economics and International Finance by the University Paris Dauphine, one of the best, very finest universities, not just in France, but in the world, in finance. And an MBA by Stern School of Business, New York University. Habib Achkar, welcome to Ecosphere Instagram Live.
Thank you, Gilles. Thank you very much for having me. You and Nadia, thank you.
Thank you. So your LinkedIn profile reads as follows. Former vice chairman at Morgan Stanley, NYU Stern School, one of the most reputable business school in the world. Habib Achkar, sorry for the mistake.
Don't worry.
What is
Don't
your
worry. All my life, people pronounce my name wrongly, but it's so funny, so it's great. Thank you. It's a great way to start, believe me.
Indeed. What is your story, my friend?
Well, Gilles, again, thank you very much. So, my story. So, I will give you one sentence to start. I'll tell you my mixed upbringing with exposure to different culture and places equipped me with a sense of flexibility, empathy, facilitating my sense of connecting people and seeing opportunities. And I will give you some details. So as a child growing up in Ivory Coast, West Africa, from a Lebanese family, I was exposed to the very important Ivory Coast economic development at the time, to the development of what you call commerce of commodities, and to my family business as they were entrepreneur and merchant. Those early experiences led me to study economics and business. So after completing a master's degree at Dauphine in Paris, I enrolled into the Stern MBA at NYU. Again, be there at the right time. It's important in life. Graduating in 1989 was a lucky strike for me because it was the beginning of the expansion of the global capital market across the globe. And I was at Stern, great school, with great access to Wall Street's firm. Here I am. I start at Morgan Stanley in New York in the fixed income department, and quickly I'm transferred to London as the European financial market there are about to witness a huge. From 1991 to 2008, I was able to develop my passion for capital market, build my expertise, and combine with my cultural adaptability in mixing with people. I was building for a US bank with a US culture, the market for France with French culture, with French clients. I was helped by the fact that Europe at the time benefited on the capital market side for a huge growth too. In 2008, another opportunity came along, so Saudi Arabia, where my skill in building business from scratch and adapting to new culture will be put to test. As CEO of the Morgan Stanley Saudi Arabia Bank, My goal was to establish and build a franchise in what you call KSA, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, at that time encompassing larger business, corporate finance, asset management, and wealth management, in addition to what you call capital market. But in a country, again, at the starting point of opening to capital market and welcoming new players in investment banking. Again, because life keeps throwing you surprise. My skill have to be tested. In 2009, right after the big financial crisis of 2008, I'm asked to become the CEO of Morgan Stanley for the whole Middle East and North Africa, called the MENA region. So not only I was trained to look at one country, now I have to look after 14 countries. But again, surprise and adaptability. Managing a region during the start of the Arab Spring, following the 2008 crisis, was a lesson of constantly evaluating opportunities with a very conservative approach while balancing risk and reward. As I was getting quite knowledgeable about the MENA business, the clients, I was developing deeper relationship. Another surprise come along. I'm asked to go to London as vice chairman to join the senior relationship management group and to focus on building and fostering the key relationship for Morgan Stanley client in Europe and in the Middle East. So I will say to you as a conclusion for that 31 years of great exposure while learning experience and expertise in one of the best investment banks in the world was an amazing chance for me. I am thankful for it, but I always remember that the starting point, the door opener, was my MBA from Stern at NYU.
Wow, what a journey and what a great learning experience for you and people around you. Stern is a fantastic stepping stone to go into finance as you did. You are a committed and involved alumni of Stern School of Business. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Well, again, I always like to give one sentence to start. Always remember to give back when you are given a chance. I told you that Stern was the starting point. So as soon as I joined Morgan Stanley, and I was lucky the firm was growing, so I was able to recruit young graduates. And I wanted to give back to my two alma mater, Dauphine University, because I was in France, but also NYU, because they have a huge crowd of international as well as US students. So I was very involved in the recruiting. From that point, I got involved with the school. I got involved in the fundraising. I got to know the different program, and I got to know the faculty. And I want to mention two people here. I was blessed to have met the two deans, the previous and the new one of the Stern Business School, Dean Henry Peter and Dean Raghu Sudamaran. They are the most amazing strategic thinker in education, great leader. And discussion with them is such an interesting, so I want to salute both of them here because of what they have done with the school. And in my career, as I told you, I was based in Dubai. And I was lucky also because this was the time where NYU opened its Abu Dhabi campus. And I witnessed that. And because today, when you look at global university, and I'm a bit biased, so I apologize, but I would say that the true global university that we have is really New York University.
I can't agree more with you. As you know, our children are fortunate to be at NYU as well, and our daughter started in Florence, and now she's been in New York for a couple of years. So yes, I think it is a true global campus. I believe they have 19 campuses around the world or something like this. Yeah.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. Great stories. So what is the biggest opportunity, Habib, that you have faced in your life? Why is that the biggest opportunity, and what shift did it create in you, in your behavior, and in your ecosystem?
Again, one sentence. when faced with opportunity, the key is to see them, understand them, most important is to take the risk to go after them, even the road isn't clear. I remember there was a sentence about faith, and I like it's like they say faith is like you see a stair, it's dark, only the first step is there is light, but you still go in it. This is what is opportunity. You have to take the first step, the light will come. So it's hard for me to choose, but I will, because I was lucky at Morgan Stanley to be exposed to so many of them. But I will choose one, which is Saudi Arabia. Why? Because it's a new country, it was a new market, and the opportunity that was given to me to build a new investment bank, full-fledged, was quite a challenge. But I was very lucky. One, I represented Morgan Stanley brand, which is an amazing brand, and also had an outstanding joint venture local partner, Mr. Dr. Fahad Al-Mubarak, who provided huge guidance and huge help for me to achieve my goal. But what I want to say here is facing an opportunity to build an investment bank franchise in a new country come with huge challenges. The key here is how do you face them? I learned that discipline, a strategic business plan, and by surrounding myself with the correct team and empowering them, listening to feedback, will certainly position us on the right path to success.
Listening to feedback among the various steps that you've mentioned. Thank you so much. So could you kindly share with us a couple of anecdotes, maybe 2 or 3, related to the challenges and opportunities you faced in building your career?
And Gilles, on this one, I asked you if there could be a real anecdote, and you did authorize me, so I do. So I apologize to the audience because I will tell you true life story. So one anecdote is at the start of my career. The other one is in the middle of one, and the other one is towards, the end of my career. When you start building a franchise in France, you do cold calling, and you call a lot of people you don't know, particularly a regional bank who tend to be located in very small town of France. So I'm calling because I'm trying to reach the treasury of the bank to talk about financial instrument. I reach out the reception desk, and I'm trying to explain that I'm trying to reach the treasury department, the people who talk about operation, people who talk about instrument, people who talk about technicality. And I think the person at the reception is a bit confused. They're trying to help me. So I get transferred to a person. And because I'm so keen, and at the time I didn't listen, I just started to speak about what we can provide in terms of derivative hedging, instrument, option, all those technical things. And this gentleman on the line was very kind because he did listen to me for 10 minutes without interrupting me 1 second. And at one point he said, "Thank you very much." He said, "Look, what you say seems to be very interesting, but I don't really understand how this can help me in my lift maintenance." In fact, I was talking to the person managing the lift and the operator. And the lesson for me is that, okay, you're going to face things like that. Just keep a sense of humor. I did say thank you to him. And I ended up finding after a struggle the treasury department, but I thought it was funny to say that I did talk to the lift operator about financial instrument for 15 minutes. The second one is in the middle of the .com 2000, when telecom company were issuing a lot of debt. We were mandated by a big European telecom company to do a big bond issue. And one of the big clients in the world that tend to also be in the US, and there was a roadshow on the West Coast. And this European CFO, we told him that he was going to have a meeting very early in the morning. He thought he was in Europe, so he thought the meeting was going to be 8 or 9. We told him the meeting was going to be at 4:30 in the morning. He was quite surprised that we woke him up. On the road there, he thought he was going to be welcomed by a coffee or, something more into the European style, I would say. And we told him there's a conference room. And in his mind, I think when we opened the room, he must have expected one person. We opened the room, there was 40 people already ready to go with their notepad and bombarding him of questions. So again, the other lesson is always be ready to react to the unexpected, whether it's 4 in the morning, whether it's, because in different countries, different way of doing business, and you just have to go along with it. The third one was in the Middle East. I get called at the last minute because I'm the CEO to join a meeting with the investment bankers because they are going to pitch an IPO for a potential telecom company. And I go into the car, we're rushing, and I said, but do you know the company? And they say, well, no, we just heard again. And the bank being so good at IPO, we had to go, but we had no antecedent. So we just went, we start the meeting, and we see the son of the owner, plus the CFO, the CEO, the CTO. And the bankers start to pitch right away. And after 5 minutes, I can see that in front of us, they took their phone and they were looking at the phone. So you don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand that the meeting is not going well. It's not going well. So the meeting finished, and then we leave, and the banker says to me, I think we need a good pitch. I say, look, I'm not very convinced we need a good pitch because the body language was not exactly what I sensed. Anyway, I come back to my office, and I know it didn't go well, but through connection, I said, I would like to speak to the family. I managed to get a meeting, and I go to their compound in the desert. And I want to tell the story because I was very welcome, but I walked in, and so the person who welcomed me was a father, the owner of the business, and he said, why did you come to see me? I said, I only came because I want to apologize. And he said, well, I said, look, I want to apologize because we didn't know you. We came to pitch. I don't think we deserve much other than we are a great institution, but maybe we need to know each other. And I just want to apologize for being so direct because culturally, I believe in the Arab world, sometimes you can't be that direct. You have to take some kind of formality. So very kindly invited me to stay. We had a lovely time, tea and everything. We talk about family. We talk about everything but business. And the next day we were called back to repitch the deal. So again, in your experience, you never know how the door will open, but do not hesitate to open any of them because one might open in a very surprising way.
Wow, 3 extraordinary anecdotes, real life experiences. And I really like the last one where you went back just to apologize. And this is very much like you, Habib, that I know, and that led to another meeting and then business. I want to say just greetings to everybody. We are about midway through the interview. We are very fortunate to interview today and have a conversation with Habib Achkar, who is calling us from Fort Lauderdale in the States. There are the image is not so clear, but we hear you very well, so we're just going to carry on, Habib. It's the internet. I think it's the internet. It will get clearer, I would think. So
okay, is it very blurry or is it okay? I'm sorry for that.
No, you can't do anything. It's blurry. It happens. It's just the internet. But don't worry. We hear you extremely well. So there's really no problem. People can still see you. When I think of you, your brand, the following words come to mind: quick thinker, strategist, energy in motion, kind and impactful leader, global citizen with an Ivorian and African heart. I have 2 questions in one for you. What words would you use to describe who you are and why you are effective at what you do? And what skill sets have you developed to excel in these fields?
Thank you very much, Gilles, for those kind words. And I will just tell you what people say about me. They say that I deliver. Okay, whether it's to deliver a relationship or to deliver a deal or to nurture a team. And I know it's good to laugh sometimes, so I will use a bad joke and I apologize in front of the whole audience. My nickname is not Deliveroo, but it will be like, it will. So if you think I've been effective, I think is because I always keep an open mind. I'm open to criticism. I love to work in a team. because I believe that the power of many always surpasses the power of one. And I am adaptable, I'm flexible to new situations. I'm like a sponge, as I believe that I can learn a lot from others, feedback and criticism, and I like to challenge myself as soon as I get comfortable. I tend to be organized and disciplined and very goal-driven, and most important, I love the human connection. I'm a people person.
Wow, deliverer, I love that. It's fun, and at the same time, it delivers the message. You deliver, whichever field you deliver. And you're very much of a people person, Habib. Thank you for that. So, what in your trade, your activities, make you an international public speaker? Where do you get the confidence to stand there and speak, impact your public? And how do you command attention?
So for that, I will tell you that the way I see this public speaking is, for me, always be prepared with one key message to pass. Ask yourself why, when, and how, and adapt the speech or the narrative to that. Relate to the audience. Relate to the audience. If you need to be funny, be funny. If you need to be serious, but read the audience. And more important, I think the most important, stay relaxed all the time. The more relaxed you'll be, the more impactful you're going to be. So those are my advice, or my, I would say, motto to follow in terms of public speaking.
Very good, very good. So be prepared, read the audience, and stay relaxed. Very, very good. Thank you for that answer. We are in 2021, and yet the theme of women in business remains vivid and still a significant challenge. What can men do to advance women's empowerment?
That's a very good question, and thank you for that, because I think it's a very important subject today we all need to address and all need to work on. So all the measures that have been taken by company governments regarding diversity, whether it's for women and for other minority, are essential, and they need to be enforced. But I still remain convinced that as men, as fathers, as brothers, as uncle, as friend, we need to be an example for young boys. It starts with the education. I think we need to educate the young boys in a respect of women, of the sense of equality of women. So early on, they embrace those things. Early on, we support the work of the mother. So when they get to the age of adulthood, of responsibility, it comes natural to them. So less measure will be necessary because they don't need reinforcement, because they do it because they want to do it. And maybe it will take time, but if we start now and we communicate about that, I think we will get to a much better place in the years to come. And the reinforcements of those measures will be way easier. And I will give you an example, because, you know, when I started in Wall Street on the sales and trading floor, I mean, I'm talking about 30 years ago, it was a place where, you know, testosterone were running high. It was a very macho place. To say, we have to call it as it is. As soon as I could recruit or support any woman advancement or recruit young graduate from school, I always wanted to do it, because I thought that the balanced approach to have a mix of employee, you get a much better team. And I was very proud to be able to do that. And maybe I haven't done enough, because, you know, but to my belief, I've done whatever I could, but I wish I could have done more.
I'm sure you did a lot, and this point about men educating their boys is a really important one, and then getting the balance between the wife and the husband. When we have listeners here from literally around the world, on the 5 continents, what advice would you give to those among them who are aspiring to achieve a career similar to yours?
So I will tell all those young graduates across the globe that although banking, which has changed tremendously in the last 35 years, because it was when I started and what it is today is completely different, it is still an amazing place to start a career and to embrace a career for young, talented, ambitious graduates, willing to work hard, willing to commit the time, and willing to learn and be exposed to different challenges. But the difference today is as the world is getting more and more technical, and it's a tech-driven world, you have to make sure you continue learning about this digital revolution and how it's applied and adapt to it. Because if you don't do that, you might be stuck in an old way of doing things and not move along. Because for me, banking, whether it's commercial banking, whether investment banking, is going to become much more tech-driven and even more going forward. And there will still be a lot of opportunity, but you just have to adapt to them. That would be my advice.
Excellent. So be adaptive and use technology. I am sorry to say that we're coming to the end of our discussion, our interview. I wish it could last much longer. So do you have any final message for our audience, please?
Yeah, I will say, because I will say one thing. Always, be yourself. Reach out for advice for people because you'll find a lot of mentors. Don't be afraid to take risk. Challenge the authority when necessary. And when you're comfortable, get a new challenge. And the most important, continue to build bridge between people. Communicate and connect. Break the wall, build the bridge. I think the Pope said that. And his sentence was very, very powerful. Build bridge, not walls, because we need to talk, we need to communicate, we need to learn from each other. And we need, in this world that's connected to each other, we need to do even more of that.
Wow. Build bridges, not walls. Fantastic.
That was, again, I want to say that this is Pope Francis said this sentence when he was in a plane. And I was so impressed by this word, build bridges and not wall, because I think myself, I'm a bridge between culture, bridge between continent, bridge between people. And I love the notion of bridge because you reach one point to another. And this is why you see the passion of talking about bridges. I'm not an engineer, but I love bridges.
Indeed, indeed. There are so many interactions with the public. They're reacting to almost every single word you were saying. Beautiful truths, educate and train, says one. Very interesting, says somebody else. Hello, a friend says hello to you. Lots and lots and lots of comments and interaction. When faced with an opportunity, take the first step and the light will come. People have actually written quite a lot of the wisdom, the insightfulness that you've shared with us. The later ones are spoken the truth when you were speaking about the walls, build bridges, not walls. Habib, we're coming to the end of this wonderful conversation. Thank you so very much. You're getting a lot of personal touch. I know a very close friend of yours just came back in. Hello, Charlotte, Charlotte Toba, and many of your friends were here. It's been delightful. I'm very grateful on behalf of Nadia, who says, I'm so grateful to you, Habib, for such an insightful interview. Loved it. And I'm sure, as usual, 300-400 people and maybe more will be watching this over the next week. As those who cannot come tend to look at it just afterwards. And the final comment I've just seen is perfect. And thank you. Thank you so much, Habib.
Thank you. Last word, Nadia and Gilles, 1,000 thank you. You're doing a great job and keep going.
Thank you very much. You take good care of yourself and greetings to Tina. Take care. See you soon. Yeah, bye-bye. Bye.